Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Sam, and as you can tell from the title, I got my boobs done. I was very hesitant to share this online because this is something that I just did for myself. I'm not the kind of person that ever shows my body off really, certainly not on social media, so this was just something that was like very personal and private to me. However, when I was doing research prior to getting this done, I really appreciated all of the videos that were on YouTube. All of the other women who vlogged their experiences and just shared information, and I felt like I would be kind of doing a disservice if I didn't do the same. This is gonna be a long video, so grab a snack, maybe grab a pen and paper if you wanna take some notes. I have a whole bunch of notes here. I think what I'm gonna do is just go through and answer some questions, like Q&A style questions I know I had going into this, and then later on in the video will be a vlog because I did vlog the whole process. I am going to provide timestamps in the description, so if there's just like one particular thing that you want to know, go ahead and check the description. So first things first, what did I get done? So I got a breast lift on one side and a breast augmentation on both sides, aka breast implants. So for me, this was a little bit more of like a corrective surgery. Not that there was anything wrong with my body before. My body was perfectly fine. All bodies are perfect, just as they are. But I wasn't completely flat chested. I did have a decent-ish amount of tissue there, but all of the volume that I did have was just at the very bottom and kind of like down on the outside over here. Up top and in the center was like completely flat. Finding bras that fit me properly was like impossible. Everything that I wore ended up gapping. And some clothes just didn't really fit me that well too, because I'm a little bit heavier on the bottom. I have like a bigger butt and bigger hips, and then my chest was so much smaller in comparison. So if I ever wanted to wear like a jumpsuit or a dress or something like that, in order for it to fit at the bottom, up top would end up being really loose, and it was just kind of annoying. I mean, not obviously the end of the world. And then the other issue that I had, and I think what bothered me the most, was how uneven they were. It's very common for most women to have one breast larger than the other. Mine actually were the same size. I had the same amount of breast tissue, but they were two completely different shapes. Like they just were two totally different boobs. My left side was just normal. It was a round shape, normal sized areola. And then my right side, my nipple literally pointed down and it was just a more like tubular shape. It was saggier and the areola was a lot bigger than the left side, like almost 2 times bigger, I want to say. And it was something that other people never noticed because when I had clothes on, you couldn't tell. I didn't care about what other people thought. So I basically just got this surgery to lift up the right side to match it up shape-wise with the left one, make the areola smaller, and then also just add the implants just to create a little more volume up top where I was lacking it, and in the middle just to give me a little bit of cleavage too, because I never had cleavage and I just loved the look of that. I thought that that was very sexy, very feminine, and it was something that I just always wanted. So let's go over the stats. What exactly do I have implant wise, like the size and all that? So I have 445 cc's. That's the measurement that they use when they're talking about like the size of the implants, the actual volume of what is inside of them. They're moderate profile. The profile is how wide or narrow the implant is and how much it projects out from your body. So you have low profile, which is wider and doesn't stick out as much. You have high profile, which is the opposite. It's more narrow and sticks out more. And then there's moderate, which is right in the middle. So that's what I have. And I feel like that, just for me on my shape, is like the most natural. They are round and smooth, and they are silicone gel or gummy bear. So if you think about a gummy bear, it's kind of solid and it's like soft and cushioned to the touch, but if you were to cut it in half with a knife or rip it, you're not gonna have a whole bunch of liquid or anything spilling out. It's gonna stay solid and cohesive. So that's basically the same idea with the implants. And these kind are also supposed to feel the most natural. Oh, and they also were placed under the muscle. So my bra size before, like I said, nothing really fit me perfectly. So I would say I was kind of like a 36B, 34C, somewhere kind of in there. like a big B, small C. And now I haven't gone to actually get measured, so I don't know if this is like my proper size. I just kind of guessed and they fit pretty well. So right now I've been wearing a 36D. So as far as how I chose everything, like the size and the profile and all that, I honestly just trusted my doctor. When I was doing my research, I was looking at a lot of before and after pictures, and I had an idea in my mind of what size I wanted, like as far as the CCs go. But when I went in for my consultation, which you'll see that in the vlog portion, I talked with him about what I wanted. I showed him photos of what I liked, photos of what I didn't like, and he measured me, and then he just threw out 445. And I went in there thinking I was gonna do more like 300 to 350. 445 sounded humongous, but I figured, you know what? He is obviously the expert here. I do feel like he has a good understanding of what I want, so I just trusted him as far as everything. They, of course, gave me the option to choose, like if I didn't want to go with his suggestion, I didn't have to, but I figured he's a professional. I'm just gonna trust him, and I'm really glad that I did. And same thing as far as the type of implant and the placement and all of that kind of stuff. I chose my doctor specifically because he specializes in really natural looking work, and I knew that's what I wanted. I wanted them to look very natural. I didn't want somebody to just look at me and be able to tell that I have fake boobs. So I just completely trusted his opinion on that, and based on my research, I felt really comfortable with what he suggested anyway. So speaking of my doctor, I went to Dr. Brian Reedy at Burke's Plastic Surgery. He's in the Reading, Pennsylvania area. I cannot recommend him enough. That man is an angel, and his entire staff is incredible. Like from the moment that I called to set up a consultation, the whole experience was just so wonderful, so warm, so comforting. I never felt scared or intimidated. Actually, after I got out of surgery, I got a card in the mail, and like all of the nurses and all of like the surgical staff that were there during my surgery signed the card, and I was like, oh my God. It's the sweetest thing ever. Like, they're amazing. And he was an hour and a half away from me, and it was absolutely worth the drive. So if you live anywhere within the area, like even if you're a few hours away, I highly recommend him. I will have his information in the description. And if you want to let him know that I referred you and that you saw this video, I would really appreciate that too. So the way that I found my doctor was on realself.com. I will link that in the description. It is such an amazing resource. You can search different procedures and you can read about other people's experiences. They do kind of like blog posts where they just talk about their experience, and they include photos, and nothing is censored. So if you want to see like full breasts, like scars, nipples, everything, you'll be able to see it on that website, which is really, really helpful. And you can also search for doctors on there, and all the doctors that they have on the website are board certified through the Board of Plastic Surgery. And you can read reviews about the doctors, read their profiles, see photos of their work. So I had found a few doctors on there, but the one that I ended up going to, he just had like the most reviews and the best reviews. I ended up stalking him online for a few days, went to his Instagram page, literally looked at every single post, read every single caption, and I was like, I definitely need to go meet this guy. He just seemed so informative and had a lot of educational posts, and just his work just looked exactly like what I wanted. So I called, booked a consultation, and immediately from the second that I met him and his staff, I was like, this is where I'm gonna go. And I literally booked my surgery that same day. So I highly recommend realself.com, and I suggest just taking your time, doing your research, going to multiple consultations if you need to, and don't settle until you find a doctor that you feel 100% comfortable with. So as far as costs, my surgery for everything was $9,700. That included both surgical procedures, all of the appointments. The only thing that it didn't cover was my medications and then my scar aftercare. Insurance will not cover the surgery because it is a cosmetic surgery. It's voluntary, it's not necessary. But if you have insurance, it will cover your prescriptions. So there's a few medications that you have to get. And then I do have some scar aftercare stuff, which was totally optional. This I just had to pay for myself out of pocket separately, but you don't have to get this kind of stuff. And I'll show you what I have later on when I actually show you my scars. So yeah, I think if I was just to do the implants by themselves without the lift, it was gonna be between like $7,000 and $8,000. For me, it's surgery. You're getting a foreign object put in your body. I was not trying to mess around. I didn't want to like shop for the cheapest doctor. I wanted the best doctor. The one that I knew was going to do the best work and really take care of me and, you know, give me what I wanted. So I was willing to drive a little further and pay a little more money to go to the best of the best. Oh, and I did pay for everything upfront out of pocket. However, they do offer payment plans. I believe most surgeons nowadays offer payment plans. I waited till I had more than what the surgery was gonna cost saved up, just in case anything went wrong and I needed like anything removed or fixed or redone or anything like that. So did I have any general like hesitations or fears about doing the surgery? Yes. I knew that this is something that I wanted to do, and I had been researching and looking into it for years. But for me, I was most freaked out at the thought of like having a foreign object in my body. And I was like, what if it's uncomfortable? What if I can feel them? What if I don't like it? What if I get botched? And I think too, I didn't know anybody personally in real life that had implants that I could talk to and ask questions and like feel them, you know? So I had no idea what to expect, and I think that's what freaked me out the most. And I guess while we're on this topic, what do they feel like? Can I feel the implants? Do they feel natural? As I'm sitting here just squeezing my boobs. So during the healing process, which I'll get into in a minute, they do not feel natural. They feel very hard. They're sitting up very high. They're very square. They don't look natural. They don't feel natural. And you just feel like you just have this heavy, tight stuff on your chest, and like, it's just weird. And it's like uncomfortable to lay on your stomach, and you just feel like you want to just be very careful with this area. Now at this point, 5 months later, they have dropped, they've settled, they've softened. They're still healing. It does take 6 months to a year for everything to like 100% fully heal internally. And I can still feel that like every so often. I don't even know how to describe it. It's not pain or anything. It's just like, it just feels like my body is internally still like healing and just kind of like settling everything. But they are very squishy, they're jiggly, they move around, and I do feel like they look very natural. They're maybe just like a little bit more perky, but I feel like as time goes on and they like, I'm sure they'll sag like a little bit. But yeah, they feel pretty natural. I'm not gonna lie, compared to how my breasts felt before, like I felt like I could literally just squeeze the shit out of them. These are definitely a little bit more firm, but they feel natural enough. And I think if you're starting out with like no boobs at all and you have nothing to compare it to, you wouldn't even know. And I cannot feel the implants at all. Like when I touch them, I can't feel them anywhere. And I also don't feel them like in my body. Like these just feel like my real natural boobs that I was born with. I honestly forget sometimes that I've had them done. Like it's not something that I'm consciously thinking about on a regular basis because it doesn't feel like it. Oh, so let's talk about nipple sensation, because I want to say in like 99% of things that I've read, videos that I watched, everyone said that they either lost nipple sensation completely and it never came back, or they lost it temporarily and it eventually came back, or like their nipple sensation just changed somehow. For me, I don't feel like it has. They feel totally normal. They always did, like since the day after surgery. And maybe that's just my body, but I feel like it just speaks to how like precise and skilled my surgeon is, honestly. I did feel a little bit like down on the side over here where I feel like my skin was stretched the most. I felt a little bit numb kind of, just because like the skin was so stretched and new skin was forming. But now that everything is like done and settled, all of the sensation is back. I can feel everything and it just feels totally normal. Oh, and I know that I did see some people say like, oh, once you get implants, your nipples are going to be hard all the time. That's not the case for me at all. Like they're totally normal. So am I scared of breast implant illness? This is something that's very, very important. And if you are looking to get breast implants, you need to do your research on this and look into it. Some women have experienced different symptoms, like kind of autoimmune symptoms that they believe are traced to their implants. And then after getting the implants removed, all of the symptoms go away. I 100% believe that breast implant illness is a real thing. There are some doctors that will absolutely deny it, and I just think that that is very irresponsible and unprofessional. My doctor talked about that with me. It was in the paperwork that I had to sign during my pre-op appointment, and that is also what really made me trust him too. But anyway, it is something that I worried about, and honestly, for a while, it put me off to the idea of getting this done. But during my research, what I realized was, even though it seemed like, wow, a lot of women are experiencing this, because there's like a Facebook group that I think has like 200,000 members or something. However, when you actually look at the number of women who have breast implants, that number is actually a pretty small percentage. So I told myself, this is a possible risk. Just like, you know, there's so many risks anytime you're doing any kind of surgery, but I'm willing to take that risk and just try it and see what happens. And that's why I wanted to make sure I had extra money saved up just in case, because if, you know, something, God forbid, did happen and I did need to get them removed, I wanted to make sure that I had the money to do so. At this point, I have yet to experience any kind of breast implant illness symptoms, knock on wood, but it's something that I'm aware of and that I am constantly looking out for. So I feel like you gotta just kind of weigh out the pros and cons. For me, I don't really have any sensitivities, I don't have any allergies, I don't have any like immune issues, so I felt like hopefully my chances are pretty good and I should be okay, but you never know. So like I said, I'm gonna keep an eye out for it and just listen to my body and just see what happens. Did I consider fat transfer instead? So rather than getting implants, something that you can do is get liposuction to suck fat out of one part of your body and then transfer that fat to your breasts to make them bigger. I did consider that, and I did a lot of research into that, and I even talked to my doctor about that as a possible option because that's a surgery he does as well. But the thing with fat transfer is there's no guarantees. You can't guarantee how much fat is going to actually take, because sometimes your body will reject some of it and it'll just kind of metabolize it, and you can't guarantee the size or the shape. But because it was more corrective for me, I just felt like implants would have been the best option, especially like I don't want to spend all that money and then not be guaranteed that I'm going to be happy with the final result or know exactly what they're going to look like after everything's said and done, you know? So I just felt like for me, it wasn't the right option. It might be the right option for you. I would say definitely look into it, talk to your doctor about it. So as far as the entire process and what's involved, there were, I think, 6 appointments in total. And again, I have a whole vlog that's gonna be later on in this video. So you'll see this entire process and I'll go into more detail, but just as a quick overview, I called, I made a consultation, met the doctor and his staff, and the doctor will examine you at that point, make their suggestions, and it's just an opportunity for you to hear what they suggest, feel them out, see if you're on the same page, and if you want to book surgery with them. Then after I booked my surgery, I had the pre-op appointment, which was 2 weeks before my surgery date. We had to do a bunch of paperwork, went over everything again, you know, answered any questions I had, etc. Got everything like finalized and ready to go before surgery. And then surgery day, they actually do the surgery right there in the office. They have like a surgical center there. So I didn't have to go to a hospital or anything like that. And it was very quick. Like I went in and I was out in just a few hours. Then I had to go back the next day for my first post-op appointment. And then I had another post-op appointment 3 weeks later. And then my final appointment was my 3-month post-op, where they took the after photos and just made sure that everything was like settling properly and that I was happy with my results. So at this point, 5 months later, I'm good. I have no restrictions. I pretty much have like my final results as far as how they look. How was the pain and the recovery? So the pain, and again, you'll see that in the vlog, I'll talk about it more, but pain wasn't bad at all. Like getting out of surgery, I was fine. I only ever took extra strength Tylenol, and I only took that like the first few days. And honestly, like my chest itself just felt sore more than anything. Like it felt like I did a bunch of heavy bench press, but it wasn't in pain. It just felt tight and stiff and sore and kind of heavy. The only thing that hurt was you have to wear a compression surgical bra for the first 3 weeks. 24/7, except for when you shower, of course. That was a pain in the ass because I had a lot of swelling the first week, And this bra was so tight, it was digging in and it was hurting my back a lot. So all of the pain that I had was just in my back, and it was just from the swelling and the surgical bra digging into me. I took a week off of work because I am a hairstylist. If I had a desk job and I was just sitting down, I probably could have went back to work sooner, but because I'm on my feet and I'm moving around, I did need a full week to recover. But I felt pretty good after that first week. I would say if anything, like I had to move a little bit slower. I would get a little bit tired quicker from doing like physical things, but as time went on, I just started to feel more and more normal. And I remember 2 weeks after surgery, my boyfriend and I went to Salem, Massachusetts for a weekend, and we were walking the whole time, and I felt fine. Like, I was totally fine. So yeah, the whole entire process was really easy. Recovery was easy. I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. So when are they going to need replacing? Most surgeons, at least my surgeon anyway, he said that the recommended time to replace them is after 10 years. But I did go into this knowing that they were gonna probably only last me about 10 years. So that's something to keep in mind from a financial standpoint as well. So do I have any regrets? Do I wish that I, picked a different size? Do I wish I went any bigger? No. I have zero regrets at all whatsoever. I'm very happy that I decided to go through with the surgery, and I'm glad that I waited to do it when I did, because I think that I was like more sure about it and I was just in a better place financially. I'm very happy with my results. The shape is so natural. They look so proportionate to my body, and I don't wish that I went bigger. I know that's a very common thing. A lot of women, after they're healed, they end up wishing they went bigger. I don't. And if anything, sometimes depending on what I'm wearing, I almost am like, ooh, did I go a little bit too big? The size that we ended up going with was what we needed, because we ended up looking at the numbers and like the measurements. And in order for me to get the look I wanted and the cleavage that I wanted, especially because my breasts naturally are like very far apart, in order to like fill in that area and give me the look that I wanted, we had to go with this size. I wanted my hips and my butt to still be slightly bigger than up top. I did not want to be top heavy by any means, and I feel like the proportions are just exactly what I wanted. So let's get into the vlog portion so that you can see what the entire experience and process was like. And then I'll show you some more before and after shots, and I will show you my scars and what I'm using to heal them. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, September 1st, 2020. By the time you're seeing this, it's probably several months later, but today I am starting my boobie journey. So I have my consultation in a few hours, and I am so excited. I can't believe that I'm like actually moving forward with this. So they did tell me that I should wear preferably like a tight fitting shirt, because we are going to be doing like a fitting. So I'm going to get to try on different sized implants like in a bra to see what they would look like under my clothes. So this is what I'm looking like au naturel, and I'm pretty sure they are gonna give me a bra for trying everything on, but I'm just wearing like a non-padded bralette kind of thing. So this is something that I have been thinking about doing forever, pretty much. And for years, I've always looked into it and done a lot of research and watched a lot of other people's vlogs. And it's something that I would talk about all the time, but it was always like hypothetically, like, oh yeah, one day when I get my boobs done. But I never really knew like if I was gonna really go through with it or when. But within the last few months, I really started thinking about it for real. And I started doing a lot of research and started actually looking for a doctor in my area. So I started my research on realself.com, and that's actually how I found this doctor that I'm going to be meeting today. So 2 weeks ago, I actually reached out to his office to book a consultation. They did offer me the option of doing a virtual consultation, especially because he is about an hour and a half away from where I live, but I want to go in person and see the office for myself and meet everyone there in person. And that way also I can actually do like the sizing and all that stuff today. So the consultation is free. And then if I decide that I want to actually book the surgery, then I have to put down a deposit. But if I don't want to, or I want to like wait on it, I don't have to pay anything. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. I have a whole list of questions. So yeah, I am very excited. I'm gonna leave pretty soon, and I'll see you there. Just got here.
Because then we can take the photos and then we can mark on them what the implant is.
Okay.
And then that way you can compare them side by side.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now this is going to be obviously a little bit of a smoother transition.
Right.
What you want to consider is they're going to be under the muscle. So they tend to look a little bit smaller, especially on this side. He's doing that lift, so he's going to take a wedge of tissue. Mm-hmm. So that's going to make them more symmetrical.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like I definitely would not want to go any bigger than this.
Okay.
This might even be a little bit too...
That's fine. And we can go down to the 375. Let's go ahead and pause it. Let's take a photo.
Okay. Okay, so I just got home from my consultation. It went really well, and I decided to book the surgery. Sorry that I didn't get better or more footage when I was there. I was very overwhelmed. First of all, I wasn't allowed to bring anyone with me because we're still in the middle of the pandemic. So I had to go alone, which I was totally fine with because this is a decision that I'm making purely for myself, and I don't necessarily want other people's input to affect my decision. Like, I want this to be 100% all me, but because I went by myself, I didn't have somebody else to hold the camera and vlog for me, so I tried to get a little bit of footage while I was trying the implants on. But basically, I met with the doctor first, and he just went over everything with me. I was able to ask him all the questions, so I busted out that list of questions I had, and he made a great first impression. I got a great vibe from him. He seemed very nice, very genuine. I didn't feel like intimidated or pressured in any way. And I didn't feel rushed. Like, I was able to just sit there and ask as many questions as I wanted, and he was just very like warm, and I don't know, I feel good about it. I had a feeling based on everything I was seeing online that I was gonna like him, but it was nice to actually meet him in person. Then the rest of the appointment was with the patient coordinator, who I had already spoken to on the phone when I booked the consultation, and we got to try on all the different size implants. The doctor did measure me, and then he gave his recommendations as far as size. I am gonna need a lift in my right breast, and he's also going to reduce the size of the areola on this one to match it up to the left side, because my left breast is, you know, just normal. It sits upright. It's a little bit more perky. And then my right one definitely like sags a little bit lower, and my nipples literally like point in two totally different directions. So in order to even everything out, 'cause he said that if he just put the implants in, then they would like be totally uneven, and one would sit up higher and the other one would droop down low. And I don't want that, obviously. So yeah, that's how the consultation went. So my surgery date is October 13th, which is in about like 5 to 6 weeks from now. Before the actual day of my surgery, I do have a pre-op appointment, and at that point I'm gonna like finalize what size implant I actually want to go with. Today I got to just try them on for fun, just to kind of get an idea, but my next appointment, which is at the end of this month, is when I am gonna like actually choose. So I'm glad that I got some pictures so I can kind of like look and compare. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I will update again at the end of the month when it's time for my pre-op appointment. Good morning. Today is Monday, September 28th. So it has been 4 weeks. Tomorrow will be 4 weeks exactly since the last time I vlogged, when I went to my consultation. So today is the day of my pre-op appointment. They are going to give me my prescriptions for all the medications that I have to take after surgery, go over everything that I need to do to prepare before the surgery, and then everything that I have to do afterwards. They're gonna take before photos, and we're going to finalize the size that I'm doing. So I'm wearing this loose crop top that I have tied up. I know it's loose, so it's like, well, I'm not going to be able to see, but this is realistically something that I wear on a regular basis. I do like the high-waisted pants with the tied up loose shirt. And then I'm also bringing a few other options. So this is like a little form-fitting, stretchy, cropped tank top situation. And then I wear bodysuits very often, so I'm bringing this bodysuit tank, which is kind of form-fitted, but it's not like super, super tight. And then same with this is another bodysuit that, again, is like form-fitted, but not super tight. Like, this is the kind of stuff, this is the type of fit that I feel most comfortable in and that I wear most often, so I could get a really realistic idea of how they'll look. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to change my mind up until like the actual surgery day, but I don't want to do that. I want to just know what size I'm going with and just feel confident with that. I want to be able to go in on surgery day and just be calm and feel good. So I'm bringing some options with me. I am going to head out now. I'm so excited. And I will catch up with you after my appointment and I'll fill you in and let you know how it went. I just got home from my pre-op appointment. They gave me another giant packet with tons of information. And I met with a nurse and she went through the entire packet and basically had me like sign an initial every single page. So we went over like consent of surgery, all of the possible risks involved, all of the details, everything that's involved in both surgeries because I am getting a lift on one side and the implants. And then they went over everything that I need to know as far as like before surgery, getting prepared, the day of, and then afterwards, like all my aftercare stuff. They gave me a paper going over all of the medication, when I need to take each one, how frequently I need to take each one. They also gave me a paper with my prescriptions, so I'm gonna go take those tomorrow and get them filled so that I'm all ready to go. They did make me do a COVID test. She took my blood pressure, weighed me, that kind of basic stuff. Then the patient coordinator came in and we tried on implants again. And I decided that I'm gonna go with what my doctor originally recommended. So we're gonna do 445 cc's moderate profile. At first, when I tried them on during my consultation, it just felt like so big and it was just very overwhelming to me. Cause like I said, I was wearing a tight shirt that day and it was my first time seeing myself with like bigger boobs. And I was just like, oh my God, this is too much for me. But having all of the different shirt options today was great. I tried all of my different tops on with all the different sized implants and I was able to see how they would realistically look. So yeah, after we tried on all the implants, the doctor came in just to like go over everything again and just kind of confirm things. I just feel really good about it. I'm really excited. I don't have any nerves or any doubts, and I'm a very, very indecisive person. So for me to sit here and say with full confidence that there isn't a single thing that I'm like on the fence about or second guessing is a big deal. So everything is set. I'm good. I paid for the surgery in full. They told me that they're gonna call me 2 days before the surgery date just to go over everything again. And they're also at that point going to let me know the time that I should arrive for my surgery. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, October 13th. It's like 7:45 in the morning and it's surgery day. I just can't believe today is it. Like, it hasn't hit me yet. It still doesn't feel real. So since the last time I vlogged, I went to the drugstore and I got all of my prescriptions filled. And I do suggest going and getting your medication filled as soon as possible, just in case there's something that they don't have in stock. Because one of them I did end up having to wait a few days for. So this is all of the medication here. Got my extra strength Tylenol, which they suggested getting. So sometime last week I got a call from a nurse from, the surgery center, and she just went over all of like the pre-op instructions with me, everything that is already in the packet that they gave me, but she just wanted to go over it and make sure that I understood everything, answer any questions I had. And then she also was going over like the medication with me. 2 days ago, I had to start taking some of the medication. I had to start taking the nerve pain medication and the anti-inflammatory. 2 days ago, I also started showering and washing myself with antibacterial soap. And then last night I washed and blow dried my hair because I imagine it's probably gonna be a few days until I'm comfortable enough to like lift my hands up to wash and blow dry my hair. And then this morning I took another shower, brushed my teeth, didn't put anything on. You're not allowed to put on deodorant, moisturizer, perfume, makeup, nothing. I had to take my contacts out. I took most of my earrings and jewelry off. I do have a couple piercings that are like a pain to remove, and the doctor said that that's fine. They can tape over those. So I left a couple of them in. About 15 minutes ago or so, I had to take more medication. I took an anti-nausea and then the same anti-inflammatory and nerve pain medication. She said that that is gonna make me feel kind of high and loopy. So my boyfriend is driving me to surgery, and then of course, you know, he has to drive me back home. I had to stop eating last night at midnight, and then I had to stop drinking at 7:30 this morning. So this is what I'm wearing. They told me to wear loose, baggy clothes that would be easy to get on and off, because after surgery, a nurse is going to dress me, and they told me to wear something that zips up in the front so that I don't have to like lift my arms over my head to put it on. My surgery time is at 10:30, so I'm probably gonna head out of here pretty soon just so we can give ourselves enough time in case there's traffic or anything. And I think that's basically it. We just got here. We're like 30 minutes early, so I'm waiting to go in, but it's just weird because I thought that I'd feel like nervous or excited or something, but I don't feel any, like, I don't know, it's just weird. It hasn't hit me. It doesn't feel real. Maybe once I walk in there, I'll start to feel nervous, but
just collapse when you walk in.
I have my water bottle here with a straw for when I get out, so it'll be easy to drink. Say goodbye to these little saggy boobs. Here's my little setup. I just got home from my surgery. I have some soup here. And I feel pretty good, actually. So when I first got in there, they made me pee in a cup so that they could do a pregnancy test. Then after that, I went into a room with the nurse. She went over everything that was going to happen, asked if I had any questions. She also asked me what I was getting done just to like verify that I knew what I was doing and agreed to it. And then she had me change into a gown with the back open. I had to take everything off except for my underwear. And then she gave me some compression socks and then like regular hospital socks over top of them. These right here, which I decided to keep on because they actually feel really nice. And I did have to wear a mask. I had to have my hair in like a hairnet covering kind of thing. My boyfriend was not allowed to come in with me. I had to go in by myself, not bring anything with me. Then I put my clothes in a little bag, and then the doctor came in. He measured me and like drew with marker, like everything. And then the anesthesiologist came in, introduced himself, and went over everything that he was going to be doing. And then after that, I just followed him. I walked right into the operating room. There was 2 nurses in there. I laid down on the bed. It was padded and heated, so it was like super comfortable. Laid down, they like put a blanket over me. The anesthesiologist, he actually numbed me before putting the IV in, so that pinched a little bit, but the actual IV part, I didn't even feel it at all. And that was what I was kind of nervous about. So that was like totally painless. And then I just laid there, and they put oxygen on me, took my mask off, took my glasses off. And then he was just like, okay, I'm going to start giving you the medicine. I honestly barely slept at all last night. I think because I was just like excited and nervous. So I was so tired. Like even just sitting in the waiting room, I was like dozing off. So I knocked out easily and quickly. And then next thing I remember, I didn't even like dream or anything. Next thing I remember, I was just being like gently woken up. The nurses were amazing. They were like holding my hand and they were just like super great. And I just kind of like laid there for a little while, slowly woke up. She gave me my glasses back and then sat me up, helped me get dressed, They had called my boyfriend. As soon as like I felt okay, they wheeled me out to the car, and then that was it. And honestly, when I first woke up, I was in pain, but it wasn't like excruciating. It was pain that I could like ignore and tolerate. So as soon as I got in the car, I just took some extra strength Tylenol. I feel fine. And now, especially that that's like fully kicked in, I would say all I feel is just soreness and pressure. No pain at all. It's totally comfortable. Like when we first got into the apartment, I was up and walking around. I was scared that I would be like kind of nauseous or dizzy or whatever from the anesthesia, but I feel really fine. Honestly, the best thing that I could think to describe it is I feel like I went to the gym and I did like really heavy bench press or like a shit ton of push-ups. Like my chest is just sore, and then it just feels like I'm wearing a really, really tight bra and compression band, which I am. So this is the surgery bra that they put on me, and then she just put this wrapping, and everything just feels like rock hard and just tight and swollen. Honestly, I think I'm gonna zip this back up because it feels a little uncomfortable. It felt better like having this tight. Yeah, that feels better. He didn't tell me anything about massaging or anything like that yet. All they told me is for today, try to move around as much as I can, like at least every hour, just walk around a little bit, eat light foods, easy to digest stuff. So I have some chicken soup here. My mom generously made me a huge pot of it, so I have that, and I have an English muffin. They did put a tube down my throat during surgery, and they told me that my throat might feel a little bit scratchy, and maybe a tiny bit. Like, it feels dry more than anything, but it doesn't hurt, it doesn't feel sore. It was just honestly a really great experience, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. Like, it was really not a big deal at all, and I'm just so happy with the doctor that I chose. He's awesome. The whole team was so great. They made me feel really comfortable. So tomorrow I have a post-op appointment. They're going to take the wrappings off, and I believe then from there I'm going to just have the surgical bra, and I'll have to keep that on, but I'll be able to see what they look like, which I'm a little nervous about because everybody says that they look kind of like Frankenstein boobs, and they're like very square and high up, and I can't really see them too well under this. I'm just really excited, and it's weird that like I actually did it. Good morning. It is day 1 after surgery, so day 1 post-op. So yesterday, after the last clip that I vlogged, I ate my food and I was just laying on the couch, you know, propped up. Tried to take a nap, but like I was just not tired at all, which was really surprising. And I thought that from the anesthesia, I'd be like really tired and out of it. I was totally awake and coherent. Like I could have just gone out and done normal stuff. And I felt tight and I felt pressure, but I had like pretty decent range of motion, and like I felt like I could do stuff decently well, like a lot better than I thought that I would be able to. So my mom came over for a while and was hanging out with me, and I was just like up talking to her, walking around. The nurse did say that every hour or so I should try to walk around a little bit just to get the blood flowing. And then, I don't know, like a couple hours went by and I started getting really swollen, and you can see like how high the implants look right now. Whereas I feel like when I first came out of surgery and like the first couple hours that I was home, they were like sitting pretty normal. But I could just like slowly feel myself getting more and more swollen, and they're like all the way up to here right now, which is really uncomfortable. I feel like it's putting more pressure on my chest because of just how swollen everything is. I wouldn't say I'm in pain. It's just discomfort. It's just a lot of tightness and soreness. And if you've ever done bench press at the gym, like it's just kind of what it feels like. It feels like I just did a lot of really, really, really heavy weight at the gym. You can see I am pretty bloated. I got the pregnant stomach that everybody else seems to get. And it doesn't feel, I mean, I haven't gone to the bathroom yet, but I also haven't really eaten very much. So it's not like bloatedness from constipation. It just feels like bloatedness from fluid. Last night, I didn't really sleep very well, mostly because I just wasn't tired, which is so weird. But I am going in for my post-op appointment today to have everything checked. They're gonna take the band off. They're gonna open up the bra and take a look at like the incisions and how everything is looking. But I will update you guys after I get out, and I'll let you know how it went and what the doctor says. Hello, good morning. Excuse my disgusting appearance. My face looks so greasy. Oh my god. I'm trying my best to hold my camera up as much as I can. I just woke up. It is post-op day 2, so it's Thursday. Oh, I gotta keep switching. You know what? Let me put you down. Yesterday I had my post-op appointment, and I'm so sorry that I forgot to vlog after that. I ended up taking a nap on the car ride home, and then as soon as I got back up to my apartment, I ate a little something and then knocked out again and took another nice nap. But basically it was a very quick appointment. Everyone that I saw as I walked in like kind of knew me, and they knew that I had just had surgery the day before, and they were all like, oh my god, how do you feel? You look amazing. Because I have been walking upright. I'm talking totally fine. My posture is good. The nurse was like, wow, you really, are doing great, and you're definitely gonna have an easy, quick recovery. She took that tight band that I had wrapped around me off, and immediately I felt so much relief. It felt amazing. That is what was making me so uncomfortable. Like all of that tightness in my back and all of like the digging in and pressure, and it was all from that band. And then she had me open up the surgical bra. She removed the dressings from my incisions. I do still have a little bit of like light tape. I'll try to show you on this side. I don't know if you can see that, but I find that in the mornings, like right after waking up, I'm a little like out of breath, and it just takes me a while. Same thing like if you have sore muscles after working out at the gym. The mornings are always the worst, but once you kind of like get up, get the blood flowing, drink some water, eat something, you're better. And you can see I did bleed through my bra a little bit, so I just put a little piece of cotton there. The original surgical bra has seams, and I kind of was like messing with it a little bit when I was in the car, like moving it around. And I think that the seam maybe rubbed up on the incision and made it bleed a tiny bit. So I switched into, she gave me a second bra. This one is cotton and it doesn't have the same seams, so I put this one on instead. Another trick also that she told me is if like the edges of the bra are digging into my skin and it's making me really uncomfortable, that I could take panty liners. So that's what I did. Take panty liners and stick them in the bra so that the cotton side is on my skin, and that was an amazing trick. That's really been helping. Later on, I'm gonna take my first shower. My boyfriend's gonna help me. She said that I'm allowed to get my incisions wet, but as soon as I get out of the shower, I just have to pat them dry very gently, and the little bandages that are on there, I'm not supposed to remove them. I'm supposed to leave them alone completely until my 3-week post-op appointment. I can lift my arms up, not 100%. I definitely can move my left side more than my right side, but my left side had less work done, so it makes sense. And you can tell too, it seems like the left side has dropped ever so slightly compared to the right side. I don't know if you can see that. They told me that that would probably happen. This side just went through more trauma, so it's probably gonna take a little bit more time to heal, which totally makes sense. I was scared to look at them for the first time naked because I knew they were gonna look really weird, and they do. They look pretty much how I expected. They're definitely very, very high up. They're weirdly shaped. They don't look like normal natural breasts right now, and they're very hard. Another thing, I started putting a little bit of oil just right here because this skin is very stretched and it's been a little itchy. And she said I can go back to putting lotion, oil, whatever I want, as long as I don't put anything on the incisions. I've just been very swollen and bloated, and I've noticed that the swelling has kind of been like all over. Like even my face, I feel like is like here in my neck and like or on my jaw. definitely, ooh, like right here, definitely feels puffy. I can feel fluid here. And in my stomach, you see, oh my God, all just fluid. I've been peeing like crazy, drinking a lot of water to try to flush everything out. I have yet to go to the bathroom, like number 2, but I'm about to have some coffee and I can kind of feel things like moving in there. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to just go naturally and I won't have to get a stool softener or anything. I haven't been taking like the heavy pain medication. And honestly, today, I feel like I might not even need the Tylenol. So I'm just taking my antibiotic, my anti-inflammatory, and my nerve pain medication because those 3, they told me I absolutely have to continue taking until I finish the bottles. It's such a mess in my living room right now. There's just stuff everywhere, but whatever. This is like where I've been living. This is my sleeping setup, which has been amazing. It's honestly very comfortable. I've had no issue sleeping upright. I just have a whole bunch of pillows stacked, and I have this pregnancy pillow that wraps around me, which is really nice. I got this heating pad. That was helping a lot for my back. So it's later in the night. It's still post-op day 2. I washed my face. I took a shower earlier. I didn't wash my hair because I just don't feel like dealing with that whole hassle yet. I am getting a bit of nerve pain on the right side around the nipple area. And I feel like when I'm talking, my breaths are really short and it sounds like I'm really uncomfortable and in pain, but I'm not. It's just the pressure makes it a little bit hard to breathe normally. I just feel like I can't talk as quickly or for really long periods of time. So yeah, my boyfriend helped me shower. It felt a little bit weird having the bra off, and at one point I started to get really cold and my muscles were contracting and that felt pretty uncomfortable. So I was like just excited to get the bra back on as quickly as possible. Having the compression feels really nice. I did want to show you my bloating though. I was able to go to the bathroom, so I'm not constipated. This is straight up fluid. I literally look like I'm pregnant right now. Like, this is no freaking joke. Oh my God. I just feel puffy and swollen everywhere still. Today is Saturday. I didn't vlog anything yesterday. Starting yesterday, I've been like completely pain-free. Haven't had any desire to take the Tylenol or anything. No Tylenol at all yesterday, no Tylenol so far today. I feel really good. All of the soreness and tightness in like my chest muscles has completely subsided. So I can like use my arms and I can move them around. I'm not supposed to lift anything heavy or put too much pressure, but I can kind of like use my arms a little bit to like move around on the couch and stuff, and I don't feel any of that like chest tightness or soreness like I did the first few days. Because it's not sore and tight anymore, I feel like I can actually feel the implants in me, which is like a really weird feeling. It just feels like I have these jelly pillowy things in my chest, and I can feel it like especially right up in here, like by my armpits and stuff. I'm sure that like as they drop and fluff and I just get used to it, I won't feel them anymore. One thing that happened yesterday that was new was I had a chest fart which I was told is something that I might experience. Basically, I guess there's like air and fluid buildup and stuff just like all in my body. And I woke up in the morning and I went to kind of like readjust myself, and like right here up by my armpit, I heard a noise and I felt like it was like a whoopee cushion fart. It was so weird. And I don't know, yesterday I just kind of felt like air bubbles or like, I don't know, just weird. Every so often I do feel like nerve pinches, which are just like these little shooting, really quick, sharp little pinching feeling. And I've been getting it more so on the right side, which makes sense because that's where I had more work done. And it's like really just like on the sides over here. That's just basically like my nerves repairing themselves. Everything that I'm feeling I know is normal, so even though some of it's a little bit weird, I'm not like alarmed at all. Today I actually took a shower and I washed my hair for the first time, as you can see, and I did it 100% by myself. And I was able to actually even shave my armpits too, which was pretty cool. It definitely takes me a little bit more time to do everything, but I was able to do it. I can lift my arms up no problem. It doesn't hurt to lift them up. It just feels like there's some resistance there, and it just, sometimes it kind of takes my breath away a little bit. When I do take the bra off to shower, it feels really weird to not have something like tight and compressing. Oh, another thing, I still am feeling kind of swollen, but that's about it. Doing pretty good. So it's Monday night right now, which is post-op day 6. Tomorrow's gonna make 1 full week since my surgery. I did want to update because I just thought that this recovery was going to be like smooth sailing and like, you know, each day I would just gradually feel better and better, but really it's been more like this. Like I'll start to feel better and then I'll have a day where I just feel worse. The last clip that you saw was like 2 days ago, I think. I had washed my hair myself. I actually ended up blow drying it a little bit and it was okay. It wasn't like the easiest, most comfortable thing ever, but I was able to do it. I was just like really tired afterwards. And then yesterday I was hanging out at my parents' house again, not doing anything strenuous. Like I basically was just sitting on the couch the whole time. But towards the end of the night, I started to get really uncomfortable. My compression bra was just like super tight and it was like digging in to my sides and in my back. And I just felt very swollen and in a lot of pain, not from my chest at all, just all in my back and just all from like the tightness of the bra. So I had a really, really hard time sleeping last night. I tried taking some Tylenol. I tried sleeping with my heating pad. Nothing was really helping. And then in the morning, I took a hot shower, took the bra off for a little while. That helped a lot. And then I was able to sleep a lot throughout the day today. I was able to use the heating pad and like get in a pretty comfortable position. So today I literally just stayed home and I just rested the whole entire day. And now my back is still kind of achy, but it's definitely better than it was last night. Still taking Tylenol. And again, it's not even for my chest at this point. It's literally just my back. And it's all on the right side. Like the left side feels totally fine, but I did notice that you can see the right side is a little bit higher. This side is starting to drop a little bit. And I just feel like this side of my body is probably just a little bit more swollen. And I'm supposed to be going back to work in a few days. I go back on Thursday, so I still have 2 more full days to recover, but I'm just kind of taking it a day at a time. I was looking online and I read that swelling really can peak like around day 5, which was yesterday, so that makes sense, and I'm just hoping that it'll go down. My chest does still feel really tight, and occasionally I'll get a little bit of some nerve pain here and there, but it's totally tolerable, no big deal at all. It's just my freaking back. Oof. Hey guys. So today is Tuesday, which means it's officially 1 week since my surgery, and I'm feeling pretty good today. I think a lot of the swelling went down last night, thank God. I actually was able to sleep pretty comfortably. I woke up a few times, but my back doesn't hurt anymore. The bra still feels like tight and like it's compressing, but it doesn't feel as uncomfortable as it was. And I can just tell too that my stomach like doesn't look as protruded and pregnant. I showered again this morning and I washed and blow dried my hair. I'm definitely having the most amount of like bubbling in my chest today. Like every time that I move my arms around, I just hear like squishing, and it's cringy, but it's not painful or anything. So yeah, hopefully that means that going into week 2, the swelling and bloating and everything will just continue going down, and I will just start to feel more and more like myself. I am currently just waiting in the car. My boyfriend had a doctor's appointment, so I decided to just come with him just to get some fresh air. I have not attempted to drive yet, but I'm gonna see. I might drive back home and see how that feels, because I feel like I can do it. Tomorrow is my last day off before I have to go back to work. I think that I should hopefully be good by Thursday. Hey guys, so it is the next day. Today is Wednesday, so this is day 8 post-op. I wanted to just give you like one final update and show you how they're looking. I feel really good, actually. I feel like yesterday was really the first day where I was starting to just feel like pretty normal. I mean, as normal as I can feel while still having these like rock hard boulders in my chest. But yeah, and today I just felt even better. So I feel like hopefully from here, I'm just gonna keep healing and things are just gonna get easier and just feel better and better. I am going back to work tomorrow and I feel really good about it. I was a little nervous like a few days ago, but today I feel fine and I think that I'll be good to go back to work. I have a pretty easy week this week at work. I purposely tried scheduling clients that were going to be like easy things and kind of shorter appointments so that I wouldn't be overworking too much. But this is how they're looking. I feel I look like a linebacker. They still are looking pretty square and high up and just weird. Not natural yet. They definitely still feel hard, but they're getting a little bit softer and they're starting to feel more like a part of me, and they're not feeling as heavy and as tight. At this point, the only thing that's like weird and kind of bothers me is just like I said, when oh God, I hate doing it, but when I move my arms around, it doesn't hurt, but I have like that air or fluid, I don't know what it is, that's like still in my chest that my body still has to absorb, I guess. And it makes this like squishing sound, kind of like when you're wearing wet shoes. And it's gross and it makes me cringe, like the feeling and the sound. It's quiet though, and every time it happens, I tell my boyfriend, I'm like, did you hear that? Did you hear that? And he can't hear it. It's just me. So it's not something that I'm like, I have to be worried that clients are going to hear and be like, what the hell is that? But I do feel like this size is going to be really good for my body. I feel like they're going to be exactly what I wanted and what I asked for. So I'm really happy about that. And I'm just excited to see how they settle and how they look once they've dropped into place. The last few days or so where I was like in a lot of discomfort from all of like the swelling and the tightness and heaviness, I definitely had some brief moments where I was like, what did I do to myself? Should I have done this? Is this worth it? Is this crazy? But now that I'm feeling good and I'm feeling normal again, I'm definitely excited. I'm definitely happy with my decision. So today is November 2nd. I just got back from my 3-week post-op appointment. They removed the dressings that were over my scars, or my incisions, I should say. So now I'll show you. You can kind of see. Ooh, the scars are pretty dark right now. And he told me that I don't have to wear the surgical bra anymore, thank God. So he told me that he wants me to just wear a regular underwire bra 24/7 every single day until the next time I go in, which is gonna be in 3 months from now. So I just went and got a couple bras from Target, and this is so much more comfortable. But you can see that they are pretty even now. They're still high, but they are getting there. And this bra, I completely just took a guess because the fitting rooms were closed. And I didn't feel like going to an actual store and like getting fitted. So I just grabbed a 36D and it literally fits perfectly. Before, I was wearing a 34C/36B, and I wasn't even like completely filling out the cups, especially like up top. I had a lot of gapping, but I do not have any more restrictions now. I can start working out, I can lift weights, I can do whatever I want. I just cannot do any chest exercises. Oh, and he told me that he wants me to start doing massages 2 times a day, basically until they've dropped and I have a more like natural slope up here, which he said will probably just take me like a few weeks. And as far as how everything is feeling, I feel totally normal for the most part. I feel like as time goes on, you know, I start to feel more and more normal and more like myself, but really like the last couple of days especially, I felt totally normal. Occasionally I'll still get a little bit of like some nerve pain, especially on the right side. That's pretty much it. Like they really are, like, yeah, they're still very firm, but they're starting to soften up a little bit. They're starting to just feel like a part of my body. And I feel like I can do everything normally now. Yeah, so that is my 3-week update. So here is a full body shot so you can see how they look, and I don't have a bra on right now. Yeah, I feel like they just suit my body a lot more. It's funny because I used to be really self-conscious about my arms, and I felt like I had huge arms, and even when I was at my lowest weight, my arms still felt ginormous. And then after I got my boobs done, and like now looking back at old videos, I'm like, oh, I didn't have huge arms. I just had really small boobs. Like they were just proportionately a lot smaller than the rest of my body. And now that everything's more proportionate, I'm like, oh, I have normal sized arms. So that's cool. So here are what my scars look like. So on the left side where I just got the implant, I have the incision underneath the breast. So you can see it's a little bit raised and kind of dark. I also did some self-tanner, so that's why too. But you know, it's still healing. It's only been a few months, and I'm really not worried about that one especially because when I'm just standing upright, it literally comes over the scar, so you can't even see it unless I literally lift my boob up. On this side, I did get a little bit of stretch marks underneath, but this is the only place where I got any kind of stretch marks. So, but again, it's underneath, so you can't even really see it, so I don't care. On the right side, where I got the lift, you can see the incision that comes down the center here, and then it does go around the areola as well, so it's like a lollipop incision. It goes around in a circle and then just down vertically. That's what my scars look like. And as far as what I've been using to heal them, I honestly only started using this recently, even though my doctor suggested doing it after the first month. I started doing it after like 4 months. So, but I got these silicone sheets, which I don't really know how this works exactly and how it like makes the scars fade, but supposedly it does. I bought these at my doctor's office. Amazon has some too that are probably cheaper. So it's literally, this is what my incisions and scars look like. This is the shape of them. So I literally just put it on there when I sleep, leave it on for 12 hours at a time. And then I have this scar gel, which I also got in his office, that I apply 2 times during the day. So we'll see. I've only been using that for the last few weeks, so I feel like it's a little bit too early to tell how well it's working, if it's worth getting or not. But like I said, I don't really care about my scars, so even if they don't fade all the way, that's fine with me. So that's it for this video. I'm sorry that it was so long, but hopefully I was able to answer any questions you have. If there's anything that I missed and you still have more questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.